formally start our tutor session by ano, telling you the scope of the topics that we'll cover today, October 16th. We're gonna start with electric charges, then we go with electric field, then Gauss law, and we'll also tackle some capacitance. And after this tutor session, I'm going to send a sample problem set that you can solve on your own. And yeah. So let's start with electric charges. So what are they? Electric charges. They're one of the 7 fundamental properties of matter. So any matter has an electric charge. And there are 2 types. There's positive and there's negative. If the net charge of a matter cancel each other out, like equaling amounts of positive and negative, it'll have a net charge of 0. It's important to note that. The standard unit or SI unit for electric charge is coulomb. It's important to know that because you'll be using that when we solve for electric charge. So here's another property of electric charges. So like charges, they repel. So 2 positive charges and 2 negative charges, they go in opposite directions. And unlike charges, they attract. So a positive and a negative charge, they're gonna stick together. Nakita natin yung ganitong electric charges sa everywhere actually. Like dito sa electricity ng homes natin, the stuff powering our phones and laptops. And they're also found naturally, thunderstorms. Yeah, electric charges are everywhere, both on a macroscopic and microscopic scale. And to fully understand them much better, we're going to need to tackle one of the phenomenon that involves electric charges, and that is, bago pala tayo mag-tackle ng electric force, need ko lang clarify itong mga point charges. Kunyari may mga equations tayo, like, napahanap yung mga electric charge, electric force, electric field, etc. We use point charges in place of in place of the object para mas simpler yung pag-solve ng equations. So, we're gonna assume that matter lacks volume and area. That makes our computations much easier. So, yun yung point charges. And sometimes, ang mga objects, they can conduct electricity or not. Yung mga nagko-conduct ng electricity is called conductors. Obviously, it allows flow of charge. And some examples are metal, actually. Different kinds of metal are good conductors of electricity. And we also have insulators. They do not allow flow of charge, and some examples include wood and paper and plastic. So, importante din malaman natin yung conductors and insulators kasi may mga problems sa exam that involves determining yung flow ng electric field or sa mga conductors and insulators. Alright, now that we've got that point, we're gonna tackle electrical force. Meron kayong subject previously bago itong Physics 62. Meron kayong natackle ba sa inyo yung kinematics and dynamics? Okay, so medyo mas madali yung flow ng natin since naman na sa inyo yung force. So ang electric charges, they also have forces that act on one another. And Coulomb's law, it helps find the exact value of that electrical force given 2 charges. Isa-isahin natin yung component nitong equation ng electrical force. So we have K. K is a constant. Hindi yan nagbabago. It stays the same no matter what. And K is the value for 1 over 4 pi times epsilon. Epsilon is the permittivity of something in a vacuum. Yun yung epsilon. And if we compute this, we'll get this value. 8.99 times 10 to the 9 Newton meter squared column negatives. So, ang standard unit ng electrical force, just like typical force, is Newton. Hindi ko na siya linagay sa slide because like, natakal naman na inside. So, ano siya, inversely proportional siya sa radius ng dalawang charge. So, kung mas malayo yung distance sa dalawa, mas maliit yung force na mag-a-act upon them. Tapos, proportional siya do sa product ng dalawang charges. So, kung mas malaki yung value ng dalawang charges, mas malaki din yung value ni force. Tapos, K is yung proportionality, which is ito. Minsan, may mga sample problems sa exam, even sa mga seatworks, hindi nila directly binibigay yung value nun charge ng isang bagay. Instead, they show the charge density of something. Tatlong types siya. It can be linear, surface, or volume. Medyo self-explanatory naman. In linear, charge density is the charge over the length, kaya linear. Surface, charge over area, tas volume, charge over volume. Obviously. Ang magandang analogy sa kanya, I'm gonna use analogies para mas maintindihan niyo siya. Using prior concepts na na-learn niyo sa kinematics and dynamics since you guys said sa comments na natakal. May mga natakal na sa inyo na topics before. Ang magandang analogy dito is parang density, but for electric charges. Di ba ang density is mass over volume? Dito, it's charge over, depende sa tatlong to. Linear, surface, or volume. Some charge densities are more applicable in certain scenarios than others. Minsan, kasi sa mga problems, sa mga exams and quizzes, hindi binibigay directly yung value ng charge ng object. Instead, ang binibigay is yung charge density niya. Tapos, para mahanap mo yung charge niya, you're gonna use either of these three equations, depende kung ano yung given. Mamaya, magbibigay ako ng example involving ano. Actually, may examples tong slide na to that tackles this. Pero, yeah. So, every electric charge emits an electric field. And what's an electric field? It's like a series of vector lines that show yung direction ng parang flow nung ano yung charge. And it's always a common rule na kapag it's a definite rule na kapag electric field, yung arrow ng vector is nagpo-point away from the positive charge. Dun yung source niya, dun siya manggagaling, tapos nagpo-point siya away and towards the negative. Ito, may picture ako dito that shows that. Sa formula niya is electric field equals to the electric force over Q. And Q is the charge. So, ito nade-derive siya doon sa Coulomb's law kanina, which is ito. Ma-factor out yung isang Q. So, isa na lang yung Q na sa equation. So, yeah. Okay, we have one example. This one's a bit easy. 500 Newton per Coulomb electric field is in the positive x direction. The force of an electron in this field is, bago natin i-compute yan, I think magandang strategy na i-drawing natin yung problem. So let me just annotate for a sec. Okay, let's say this is the negative x and this is the positive x. Tapos may electron dito. Tapos, yung direction ng electric field is in the positive x direction. So, alam natin kanina na the electric field is equals to the force over the charge. Pero, ang missing na value dito is yung force. So, ang need natin is ito. So, pag ganyan, It's actually, i-modify lang natin yung equation para ma-suit yung need natin. Hanapin. In this case, we're going to multiply both sides by q para makancel out to. So, we have a new equation from the old one na pinasend ko kanina sa slide. So, ganyan na lang siguro. Kunyari, pro tip na rin, kapag sa exam, may pinapahanap sa inyong missing na component and parang feeling mo wala siya sa notes, usually, ibig sabihin nun, kukuha ka sa existing equations na rineview mo and i-modify mo lang siya. So, alam natin na, sorry, alam natin na F is equals to charge times electric field based dito. So that's what we're gonna do. Given na yung 500 newtons per coulomb, that's RE, times, hindi ko pala to nalagay dito hindi ko nalagay sa slide, pero ang value ng charge ng electron, 3 sig figs aanin ko. Since usually 3 sig figs, but it's 1.60 times 10 to the 19. Negative 19, sorry. It's really, really small. That's the charge of an electron. And a proton, actually, parehas sila ng iba lang yung sign. So, pag proton, obviously, it's positive. Pag electron, it's negative. But, same value. It's this one. So, we're gonna do that. We're going to multiply 500 by 1.60 times 10 to the negative 19. Pag may exam kayo, pinapayagan naman kayo mga calculators, no? Alright, that's good. That's good. So, solve nyo lang to sa calculator nyo and you'll get the final result which is, proof, lang din, double check if parehas tayo na nakuha. So, ito ang naging final answer nung kinompute ko yung 500 newtons times 1.6 times 10 to the negative. Alright, good. So, sa problem set, na isi-send ko mamaya after this session, solve nyo na on your own and papacheck nyo na lang sa akin if tama yung ginawa nyo. Yan. Pero, yun, nagawa ko problem set para pwede kayo pag-practice. We move on to electric flux. It's the amount of electric field passing an area. And I'm gonna draw a visual representation. So, kunyari, may electric field tayo na ganyan. Tapos, may dito, para surface. Ang electric flux is yung amount ng electric field na dito sa surface na to. Ano man yan. Tapos, ang value niya is E dot A. And tinanong ko kayo nung kailan if meron kayong calculus. And sinabi niyo naman na meron. So, alam niyo naman ni E dot A. Pero in case not, it's a dot product. And it's just, E sub X times A sub X plus E sub Y times A sub Y. Or, pag gusto niyo kunin yung magnitude lang, kahit ito na lang. Itong angle na to, the cosine P, siya? I'm gonna draw this, but in a 2D perspective. Let's say naka-tilt ng konti itong surface. Ang cosine phi is ito. Ang phi pala. Ang phi is ito. Nakuha niya. So, kapag inano natin to ng teka, paano? Oh, wait. A little correction lang pala. Di pala siya eh. So, kapag ang natin is perpendicular yung surface. Ano pala to? Si phi. Yun yung normal vector. Angle niya between the normal vector. So, kunyari, alright, correction lang kanina. My bad. Alam niyo naman yung normal na tangent. Yun yung perpendicular perpendicular sa surface. So, kung ganyan yung surface, ito yung normal niya. Tapos magkakaroon siya ng angle with the electric field, and that's phi. Yeah, yun. Yun si phi. So, kapag nakaano lang siya, ganito lang siyang naka-flat, ang magiging, ano niya, normal niya is parallel to the electric field. So, magiging cosine nila is 1. Kasi cosine of 0 is equal to 1. Tapos, bunayin ko to. Kapag naman nakahiga siya, like ganyan, yung surface, ang normal niya is pag ganito, perpendicular with the electric field, and magiging 0 yung ano. So, ayun na lang, siguro. True or false, pag mas malaki yung angle ni phi, mas lumiliit yung value ni electric flux. The answer is true. Kasi ayun nga, yung angle na to, pag zero to, ibig sabihin, ano siya, parallel dito, mas marami yung electric flux. Tapos pag tinilt natin siya, mas liliit, mas lalaki yung value ng angle, mas liliit si cosine. Until ano siya, mag 90 degrees, so magiging perpendicular yung electric field dun sa normal zero. So, yeah, it's true. Okay, yung inano ko lang muna is itong una. Meron din itong pangalawa. This is for uneven Hindi, unequal na electric field. Kung hindi equal value ng electric field throughout the surface, kunyari. Kunyari, mas malaki siya dito. Pwede nyo gamitin ito. Ito, meron tayong problem dito. The flux of the electric field with these components, 15 I hat, 20 J hat, 5 K hat, through a 3 square meter portion of the YZ plane is, okay, I'm gonna draw this. And pag YZ, X is equal to 0. So, ito yun. So, alam natin na ang value nung, sorry, alam natin na ang value nung electric flux is E dot A. Kaso, ang ano lang dito is yung YZ plane. So, ayun lang yung ano na i-check natin. Yung component, yung nasa YZ plane. So, X equals to 0. So, kunyari, ito yung, teka, 15. Kunyari, ito yung direction ng flux. Ang check lang natin na component niya dito is yung X na ano niya, kasi YZ yung plane. So, ito lang, 15 times 3, and we'll get 45 na flux, which is Newton squared. Ay, teka, nag-gets niyo ba ko bakit itong 15 lang ang important dito? Kasi YZ plane siya. So, ayun yung nasa X component. Bale, o pwede rin natin gawin yung longer method. Kukunin natin yung magnitude nito. So, it's gonna be 15 squared plus 20 squared plus 5 squared. Kasi multiply pa natin sa 3 times cosine, kung ano man yung angle na nagme-make niya with dito. In this case, ang angle na mamimake niya with the YZ is, ay, tama ba? Ito pala. Yeah. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na mas mabilis i-solve kapag closed yung surface. Tapos may charge sa loob. Gauss's law. Ano, pakita ko paano siya dinerive. So, alam natin na ang flux is equal to E dot A. Tapos, gawa tayo ng, hypothetical scenario. The space charge here. And nasa loob siya ng sphere. Pero note ko lang, this applies to any closed surface. Any. Nagkataon lang na, mas madali kasi gawin ng ang sphere. Yan. So, ano nga ba ang electric field? We know it's F over Q.
May McDonald's burger ka ba?
We're gonna multiply this with the surface area ng sphere, which is 0.5s. This is like geometry. And yeah. Tapos alam natin na itong electric field is KQ over R squared. Tapos tong K, 1 over 4 pi epsilon. Tapos nakikita nyo na kung saan nanggaling to. Maka-cancel out to. And ito. Matitira si Q over epsilon. Dun yung origin nitong Gauss. No? Pero it applies to any closed surface. Not just a sphere. And note, only charges inside the Gaussian surface. Oh, ito nga pala. Kunyari may surface dito. Tapos ang flux is positive. Ibig sabihin nun, mas marami yung umaalis kaysa pumapasok. So, yan. Leaving mas marami sa entering. Tapos pag negative naman yung flux, mas marami yung nag-enter kaysa nag-leave. Ay, sa previous problem, ano siya? The electric flux is E dot A. So, alam natin na yung area is 3. Tapos yung electric field, or wait, disregard na natin yung YZ plane. Dito ito yung YZ plane. Tapos, kukunin natin yung X component niya. Ayun. Ayun pala. Medyo naano ako sa explanation ko kanina. So, sorry. Di ba yung vector, may X component, may Y component, and may Z component. So, ang X component niya is automatic na perpendicular. Para hindi na rin natin maano yung cosine. Kasi pag perpendicular yung, ay hindi. Oo. Pag perpendicular yung cosine na angle, cosine theta sa unit vector netong surface na to. Ibang, ay, tangent pala, tangent vector. Wait. So, let me think. Ang tangent vector netong surface na to is pointing to the x-axis. Kasi YZ plane siya. Tama. So, kapag kinuha natin yung x-component na ito, parallel yung dalawa. And magiging 1 lang tong cosine. So, matitira na lang is E times A. And since yung x-component lang ang aanin natin, that's 15. Ito yun, yung x-component. Times 3, which is yung area. That's how we got 45. Ayun. Mas naano ko na lang. I hope mas na-explain ko na ng maayos. Bale, okay, may tanong. Oo, ganun. If, kunyari yung xy naman, ang tangent, ay, ang normal vector niya is parallel to the z-axis. Kaya, mas madali gamitin itong k-hat. And, yeah, same approach din. Okay, I hope mas na-explain ko na ng maayos this time. Ito may tanong, possible lang may tanong na XYZ naman na coercion. Paano XYZ? Anong, alit buo na? Yung walang ganun tanong. Kasi kung XYZ, eto, well, yeah, I don't think so. Wala akong nakitang ganun tanong nung nag-exam ako. Is it possible for a problem to only be? Yes, actually, possible siya na on one plane lang. Kunyari, ito yung electric field. Tapos ang ibibigay sa'yo na ano is ganito. Ganito yung ating surface. Tapos hahanapin mo yung flux niya. Ano, pwede 2D lang yung problem sa electric flux. Itong dipole moment, may onting chemistry to. So I hope nag-chemistry class na rin kayo. Pero kung hindi, I'll explain it naman best I can. So, alam niyo yung kapag may positive na charge na something and may negative. Di ba sinabi ko, nag-a-attract sila. Tapos yung electric, yung parang direction niya is from positive to negative. Parang ganyan. So, in dipole moment, it's just the charge times the distance. So, kung shortest distance possible pala. Kasi maraming possible na. Itong shortest possible, that's D. And you're just gonna multiply that. Ang super straightforward nito. So, carry naman. Tsaka, onti lang yung mga problem sa exam namin nung nag-focus niya. Pero yun, basta as long as alam mo na the dipole moment is yung charge times the distance. You're set na dito. Dito tayo sa torque. Nag-kinematics and dynamics na kayo, no? So, ano naman na to? Di ba may tinuro sa inyong concept ng torque, which is R cross force. Yung kapag rotational yung may ganun din tong electric force. Kasi force siya eh. Obviously. So, modify lang natin ng konti. Paano to nakuha? Dito siya galing actually. Alam natin na electrical force is E times mali. Tama. E times Q. Yeah, that's our force. We're gonna cross it with R. Kaya ang R, alam natin na R is, R times, R in this case is the distance. And pwede natin maano yung dipole moment dyan. If we let R be D, kasi pares silang distance, kung magiging lang siya, P cross E. Dun galing itong equation na to. Tapos para makuha natin yung magnitude, let's say magnitude lang ang kailangan. Para lang other types ng cross product. Just multiply them and their angle na nakasign. So, parang kabaligtaran to nun sa flux. Kasi dito naman, actually ganun pag sign eh. Pag mas malaki yung angle, like from 0 to 90 lang exclusively. Kasi if we go further, if we go 180, liliit uli siya. Mag-shrink back to 0 siya. So, yeah. If we go from 0 lang ang value nito, tapos ang value nito is 1. So, kapag perpendicular yung electric field, tsaka yung dipole moment, let's say ito yung dipole moment, yun yung, niya, highest possible value niya. Tapos, pag naging parallel siya, bali maging ganyan. Since ang angle between the dipole and the field is 0, 0 lang siya. Ano yung represent ng P? P is the dipole moment. Yung pinakita ko kanina na plus sign, itong minus na charge. Kasi ito yung distance between them. Yun yung parang product ng distance and ng charge. That's P. That's the dipole moment. And yeah, common to sa chemistry, as I've said kanina. Kasi diba, yung mga atoms, they have dipole moment. Let's go to electric potential energy. So here's the thing about electric potential energy. It's surprisingly not that different from a regular na potential energy na tinurusay niya sa dynamics. That's why I use this picture of a mountain here. Tandaan niya pa yung tinurusay niya sa potential energy. So, kunyari, itong ground, this is 0. Let's set this as yung, height equals 0. So, pag mas mataas ka, sa taas yung peak mo, mas taas ang potential energy mo. Tandaan niyo yun, no? Tapos pag nag-slide down ka, mabawasan yung potential energy mo, iba mo convert to kinetic until it reaches 0. Tandaan niyo yun, no? Hopefully. Yeah. Kasi medyo analogous doon ang electric potential energy. I'll explain in an instant. Ang electric potential energy, okay, this is one positive charge. As you can see, this is the plus, this is the minus. And ito yung distance. So, wait, ano ulit yung tanong mo? Should it be Q1 times Q2 times U? And not really. Not really. Kasi, ang dipole moment, it's just, one of these charges. So, either pwedeng eto or eto at the moment. So, it's either, kunin mo yung dipole moment na ito, which is Q times D, or dipole moment na ito. Pero isa lang, usually, isa sila lang. Kasi, kasi usually, to this is a proton and this is an electron. And, same sila ng value ng charge, iba lang ng signs. So, parang isa lang din ang magiging magnitude na ito. Opposite sign lang. Oh, yeah, add ko na rin pala. Ang direction ng dipole moment is always from negative to positive. Kabaligtaran to ng electric field. Kasi di ba pag ang electric field, from positive to negative, this is like the opposite. So, as I was saying earlier, yung analogy ng potential energy sa kinematics and potential energy sa electricity, halos at same lang din. Kasi, this is a positive charge and this is a negative. Nakita nyo naman sa electric fields. Pag mas malapit ka dito sa kung magsalapit ka dito sa positive charge, yun yung maximum na electric potential energy. Tapos, pag pababa ka ng pababa hanggat makaabot ka dito sa negative na charge, nababawasan yung electric potential, It's like a ball sliding off a mountain. Pero in this case, it's a charge, it's sliding off, from a positive charge to a negative charge. Dito, from a high point to a low point. Parang ganun yung analogy niya. So, ang specific na equation ng electric potential energy is ito. May onting integration lang, pero since ang calculus naman na kayo, medyo, carry nyo naman. Alam nyo naman sa previous na kinematics and dynamics lessons nyo na force times distance yung work. And this case may siya kasi hindi naman even ang work all the time. And we substitute natin ang force since electric siya with this one, the value for electric force. We can integrate this until we reach this value. And this is, may typo pala ako. I'll fix this once kung isa-send ko man sa inyo yung slides. Dapat may negative sign to. Kasi like, the integral of 1 over r squared is negative 1r. Negative 1 over r. So, yun, may negative sign to. Tapos, ito yung, and this is from B to A. Or, wait, actually, tama to kung A minus B, pero mawala yung negative sign. Pero if we go by usual conventions, pwede rin ganito. Okay, wala palang correction. Tama lang. And this is equal to the negative potential energy. So, ang negative change in potential energy, hence the delta symbol. And this is how we arrive to this equation. Tapos, meron pa. Yung electric potential. Anote ko lang pala sa terminologies, baka magkalituhan kayo. Magkaiba yung electric potential energy sa electric potential lang. This is in joules. Ano, yeah, it's a form of potential energy, so it's in joules. This is voltage. So, ang ano niya is volts. Para sa session natin tomorrow, which tackles more on EMFs, voltage, currents, and stuff. Important tong voltage. Kaya ano na natin siya ngayon. You can get the voltage from the potential energy over the charge of one of the objects. And we get this. Okay, Q over R. Okay, we have an example. A 10 centimeter radius conducting sheet has a surface. Okay, remember niyo yung sinabi ko kanina na may mga sample problems na nagaano na surface charge density ang binibigay na value. Ito yan. So, so ganda kung ganito is, ingat, let's draw the problem. It's a sphere na may 10 centimeters. Tapos, ang kukunin natin is electric potential, not potential energy, but electric potential. So, that's just V equals U over Q, which is equal to K times Q over R. So, substitute natin yung values. 0.10. Turuan naman na kayo, no? Paano mag-convert meters to centimeters, to millimeters, to micro, etc. So, ito yung radius, 10 centimeters. Ginawa kong 0.10 meters kasi mas convenient that way. Kasi meters talaga ang standard. K is 8.99 times 10 to the 9. Tapos Q, okay, ang given is surface charge density. And lambda ba yung symbol? Wait. Ano yun eh? It's a Greek letters usually ang ginagamit na symbols sa. Oh, it's not lambda. I think lambda is for linear nga pala. The symbol is this. And that's sigma. Sigma pala. Sigma ang symbol na surface charge. Ang sigma natin is 2 times 10 to the negative 8. Alam natin na surface charge is equals to Q over area. So to get Q, we just multiply the area to the surface charge density. So, yun, ito si Q magiging tong surface charge density 2 times 10 to the negative 8 times the area. Ito yun. Ang area ng sphere is just 4 pi r squared. In this case, r is 0.10 squared. Tapos, compute nyo siya sa calculators nyo. Tong, value na to. Tapos dapat, ideally, ang magiging final answer natin is 226 volts. Ano to? 3 sig figs, kasi 3 sig figs yung nasa problem. May mga props na medyo strict on significant figures. Pro tip na din. So, yeah, be watchful na lang din sa sig figs. Ano na lang pala, pa-check na din sa calculators nyo if 226 yung lumabas na answer. Let's move on to the next part, which is capacitance. It's the ratio between electric charge and its voltage. Tas, medyo obvious yung magiging equation niya. Since ratio between electric charge and voltage, it's Q over V. And may alternative way. Usually, kapag nag-solve ko yung problems, it's either given si Q and si V, or ang given is area and distance. In which case, pwede nyo to gamitin as alternative. Ay, this is applicable for parallel plates, which we'll discuss more in depth tomorrow, October 17th. Yeah, ako din yung tutor tomorrow. Meron dun yung mga parallel plates and ipapahanap yung capacitance niya. Ano, na-derive ito from, actually ito, nakita na kung paano siya dinerive. We know that, the voltage is equals to electric field times distance. Tapos, itong electric field, we're gonna, set this as this. Tapos, ay wait, baka may nagtatanong kung paano ito nakuha. Ano siya? Oh wait, sorry about that. This is yung Gauss's law, Q over epsilon. That's the flux in an enclosed surface equals to E times A. Tapos, we're gonna divide both sides by A. So, dun nakuha to. Tapos, magka-cancel out lang ito. Tapos, nalilipat tong dalawa dito. Ayun yung... Tapos, we can also express the electric potential energy in terms of capacitance. So, kunyari may sample problem kayo, tapos ang binigay ay pahanap sa inyo yung electric potential energy, pero hindi given ang hindi given yung distance between the two charges, hindi given. Ang given lang is yung capacitance and yung voltage. Pwede nyo to gamitin. Or ito. Either of those three, actually. Ito. Hanggang dito lang yung scope nung natin eh. Nabasa ko doon sa memo. It's from electric charges up to capacitance. So, I think we're almost done. And medyo mabilis tayo ngayon. Wala pang 1 hour. Pero yun. I'm gonna solve this problem here. A parallel plate capacitor has a plate area of 0.5 squared and a plate separation of 0.3 kilograms. Tapos, ang charge niya ay... Okay, so ang given sa atin is the area, the distance, and the charge. Tapos, check natin alin dito pinaka-applicable. So, this case, ang applicable dito is... Wait, ayan. Oh wait, how do you derive capital Q from the electric? Okay, bago natin ito isolve. May nagtatanong sa akin. Which one are you referring to pala? This one? Tama, no? Ito? So, this is Q squared over 2C. Tapos, alam natin na C is just Q over V. So, this is gonna be... Maka-cancel out yung isa nito. Magiging na lang siya. Kasi ito malilipat sa taas. So, QV over 2. Which is ito. Pero pwede natin siya express as ito if we let Q equals C times V. Magiging ito siya. So yeah, any of these three will do. Okay. So, hanapin natin dito yung electric potential. Tapos, alam natin na equation niya is Q squared over 2C. Okay. So, we can use any of these three equations. Tignan natin ano yung pinaka-suitable. I think we can use this. So, Q squared over 2C. And since we know na C is equals to epsilon times A over D, pwede natin, ano yun to? Q squared over 2 epsilon A times D. Tapos, substitute natin yung appropriate na numbers. So, it's wait. Electric potential pala. Oh, my bad. So, kapag V, di-divide lang natin sa Q. So, over Q, maka-cancel out to. So, V is equals to Q over 2C. Okay. My bad. I'm so sorry. So, it's gonna be 1 times 10 to the negative 8 times the distance, which is 0.3 over epsilon. Hindi ko to nabigay sa ano, pero note nyo na lang, epsilon is 8.85 times 10 to the negative 12. That's the vacuum permittivity. I said it earlier. Oh, wait, no, not 12. Sorry. Tama, 12 pala. Yeah, it's 12. Negative 12. Sorry. Times 10 to the negative 12. Times, the area is 0.5. Okay. Pwede naman pala. Teka, sorry. Pwede naman palang ano, C equals Q over V na lang. Tapos, V is equals to, ano, Q over C. Which is, oh, wala si 2 pala, kung ganun. Ayan. Let me go from the top. So, hinahanap natin yung electric potential, not potential energy. My bad. And, pwede natin siya hanapin using this equation. Transpose na lang natin para si V ang hahanapin. We get this. Tapos si capacitance, since may given naman tayo na area and distance, and constant naman si, sorry, constant naman si epsilon, so carry naman siya. Tapos, may correction ako. Naka-millimeter pala to. So, it's times 10 to negative 3. Tapos, solve nyo na lang. Dapat ang final answer is, eto. Paki-check na lang kung, sorry. Paki-check na lang kung ayan yun. Yung lumabas sa inyo. 6.8. Okay, I'm so sorry. If sinend ko yung slide, i-round off nga pala. This is 6.8. Okay, I'll just fix this slide. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it should round off to 6.8. Yeah, that's it. This is for day 2 na. Is the value of epsilon usually given in problems? No, I don't think so. Pero pag paulit-ulit mo naman sinasolve, maaalala mo siya. Yeah, it's best if you know the value of epsilon. And k din. Si epsilon is 8.85 times 10 raised to negative 12. Tapos si k is 8.99 times 10 raised to 9. If paulit-ulit mo siya nakikita, I think you might memorize it kahit subconsciously. This one, rewrite this my solution there. V equals kq over r. And 0.10 meters, that's the radius, times 8.99 times 10 raised to 9. Tapos si Q is, Q is equal to the surface charge density times the area. So it's 2 times 10 raised to negative 8. Tapos, this is the surface area of a sphere. This is 4 pi r squared. This is surface area of a sphere. Kasi di ba surface charge density yung ano. I'll just recap everything na we've discussed so far. So, electric charges, their fundamental property of matter, one of the 7. Standard unit is coulomb. It has 2 types, positive and negative. And the net charge of an object is just like the sum of all the charges within it. And if if yung net charge niya is 0, 0 yung charge niya. Like charges repel, unlike charges attract. we usually represent math objects in problems as a point charge for easier representation, in which case it lacks volume and area. Objects can be conductors or insulators. Conductors allow flow of charge, insulators do not. And electric charges can have electrical force emitting from them, and it can be calculated using Coulomb's law, which is K times the first charge times the second charge over R squared. K is 8.99 times 10 raised to 9, which is 1 over 4 pi epsilon, the vacuum permittivity. We also have the charge densities of an object. It can be linear, surface, or volume. We have electric fields that can emit out of an electric charge. It's just the electrical force over the charge. And the direction of the vector is from positive to negative. We also have the electric flux, the amount of electric field going through an area, and it's just electric field dot the area. And there's Gauss' law for enclosed surfaces, which is the charge over epsilon naught. We have dipole moments, um, the charge times the distance between the two charges, and then the torque, the dipole moment cross the electric field. We have electric potential energy, which is the amount of energy required to move a charge across a field, and it's kq times q over r. And then we have the electric potential or the voltage, which is kq over r. And then there's capacitance, the ratio between electric charge and the voltage, q over v. So, ayun, yun lang yung napakabilis na recap ng everything na napag-usapan na. Gusto niyo ng mga tips and tricks for the exam? Ano, usually kasi, may mga problems na if hindi ka sure sa answer mo, you can do processes of elimination. What do I mean by that? Kunyari, may A, B, C, and D ka. And if hinulaan mo lang siya, may 25% chance ka lang na maging tama. Pero, pag ganun, kina-cross out mo yung answers na alam mo na mali. So, kunyari, yung A tsaka yung C, alam mo na hindi possible yun. So, cross out mo. Matitira na lang si B and si D. So, mas taas na yung chance mo na maano yun. 50% na yung chance mo na. Tapos, from there, just work it out, I guess. Ayun. That's for Mulcho. And answer the easier questions first. Medyo counterintuitive kasi, pero ano siya, para kapag huli nyo i-answer yung mahirap na tanong para at least kapag malapit na matapos yung oras ng exam, marami na kayo nasagutan nyo na yung mga easy end ng mga questions. Makakapag-focus na kayo sa hard questions na hindi kayo makaka-constraint ng time. Siguro aral din kayo ng onting kinematics and dynamics kahit tapos na kayo doon kasi may naging ako dati na nakitang problem sa exam namin. Gumamit kami ng onting kinematics talaga. Like may velocity. Tapos i-relate siya dito sa mga electrical charges. I'll send the problem set for what we've discussed today mamaya, this day.
Ask ko lang kung confident na ba kayo about Gauss's law. Sort tayo sa electric field. Let's say meron tayong charge na ang distance is 2D. The question is, ano yung electric field at point P? Let's say nandito. May idea ba tayo kung paano to sinasolve? So para ma-solve natin to, kailangan natin ng distance from point papunta dun sa charge. This is the longest way. Ito yung shortest. Tama. Ang shortest way niya is, let's say, Z lang yan. Paano naman tong mahaba? Paano siya kinocompute? Mag-introduce tayo ng panibagong variable. Since yung charges natin ay ang distance is 2D, pwede natin i-assume na under ng P, papunta sa isang charge is letter D. D. Tama. So, para mahanap natin yung longest side, Alam niyo ba yung distance formula? Sige, ano lang siya? Z squared plus D squared square root 9. Yung ano natin, longest side from point P papunta sa isang charge. Sunod. Alam ba natin yung formula ng electric field? Ang electric field natin is yung K, where K is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. Multiply natin sa summation ng mga charges. Kasi di ba ang formula ng electric field natin is KQR squared? Naturo ba yan? Okay, pero yun yan. So, start tayo. At point Q, ang magiging formula niya is K, positive na Q, all over R squared. Ano yung R natin? Alam niyo ba yung R natin dito sa equation? Yes, distance lang siya. Anong distance tinutukoy? Yung may square root or yung wala?
Yung may square root.
Very good. So, magiging E is equal to K, positive Q, all over ng Z squared plus D squared. Bakit naging Z squared siya D squared na lang siya? Tandaan natin denominator is naka-squared. So, i-square natin yung naka-square root. Matitira is yung nasa loob lang, which is yung Z squared plus D squared. So, ganun din mangyayari sa kabilang side. So, equal lang to. Tsaka ito. Sunod naman tayo is yung Gauss's law na. Gauss's law. Sorry kung yung spelling na. Start tayo sa, let's say, may plane. And meron tayong electric field na nagpa-pass through sa plane natin. Ang tanong is, ano yung electric flux? Ang electric flux natin, ibig sabihin lang yan, ilan daw yung mga pumapasok na electric field lines doon sa plane. Yun lang yun. So, dinidenote natin siya na ganito. Integral. Bakit integral? Integral is just a fancy term for summation kasi kailangan natin bilangin lahat ng electric field, which is yung E, na nagpa-pass through doon sa area. Ano ibig sabihin ng E dot product dA? Ibig sabihin, hindi naman kailangan kumpitin natin yung total talaga eh. We can just get a portion ng area and isa-summate lang natin siya. So let's say, ito yung dA mo. dA, tandaan, can be any shape. Pwedeng circular, cylindrical, rectangular, whatsoever. Sige, example tayo. Kunyari, meron tayong infinite plane yan nag-expand in all directions, na meron daw siyang surface charge density na sigma. Ang tanong, ano daw yung electric field? Recall, ano yung sigma natin? Pwede mo magsabi, ano yung sigma natin? Surface charge density daw eh. Alam ko kanina sinabi siya ni Zach. Ano yung surface charge density natin? It is the charge over area. Ang concept lang ng charge density natin, gusto niya lang bilangin hindi bilangin, pero malaman yung charge per unit. Let's say charge per unit line, charge per unit area, or charge per unit volume. Alin lang yun sa tatlo. So, mag-introduce tayo dito ngayon ng Gaussian pillbox. Ang Gaussian pillbox, fancy term na naman siya ng parang Gaussian area na para malaman natin yung total electric field, kailangan na natin ng portion nun. So, let's say ito siya. Ito yung pillbox niyan. Pangit lang. Okay. Ang formula ng electric field natin is E dot dA is equal to Q enclosed all over epsilon naught. Feel ko naturo naman yung concept na to, no? Okay. Hala, meron tayong dalawang side. Anong unahin natin? Either of the two. Let's say, ang kinocompute natin is, so anong paglalaroan natin? Lahat ng terms na nakikita nyo, yung dA, yung Q enclosed, tsaka yung epsilon naught. First tayo, ano yung tinutukoy ng Q enclosed? Yun yung charge density na sigma. Yung sigma natin is equal to Q over A. So sa natin, sa formula natin, kapag Q enclosed, automatic given siya. For example, meron kang box. Ano yung Q enclosed mo dyan? Sigma. Bakit sigma? Area kasi to eh. For example, meron kang line. Anong charge density mo dyan? Or yung Q enclosed? Lambda. For example, meron kang cube. Anong charge density mo dito? Rho. Yun lang yun. So in this case, ano gagamitin natin? At yung infinite plane, meron Gaussian pillbox. Actually, nga siya box eh, para siyang flat rectangular plane. Lambda, sigma, or rho?
Sigma.
Good, sigma. So magiging natin is A dot dA is equal to sigma all over epsilon naught. Sa amin kasi, hindi kami nagko-compute talaga ng numbers. More on variables lang lahat. So, feeling ko acceptable na siya kung ganyan siya or pwedeng in numerical form siya. So, proceed tayo. Sunod nating variable, ano yung tinutukoy na dA? Diba dA ang sabi ko is just the portion of the area. So, ano bang area ng isang rectangle? Okay, good. Length times width. Pero in this case, hindi tayo magaganon. Letter A lang. A dot A, where A is length times width. Hindi natin mag-introduce ng maraming variables. Okay na yung konti lang. So, assume natin na yung area ng rectangle is just letter A. Sunod naman, kung makikita natin yung diagram natin, merong nasa taas, meron nasa baba. So, ilan yung area niya? Is it just A or 2A? 2A lang siya. Kasi lagi natin i-assume na kapag maglalagay tayo ng isang box or let's say ng sheet, lagi siyang equal amount yung up tsaka down. Kasi hindi naman natin sure kung mas mataas ba mas malaki ba yung portion ng area sa taas or sa baba. So it is safe na i-assume natin is parehas kalahati lang. So meron tayong A pataas tsaka A pababa. Hindi naman magbibigay sa exam na parang 3/7 na sa taas, 4/7 na sa baba. It's always half. Palagi yun. Pero kung sakaling magbibigay ng 3/7 sa taas saka 4/7 sa baba, edi easy lang siya to compute sa area. You just have to let's say E times 37A or E times 47A. Ganun lang siya. So in this case, ang total area niya is 2A. E 2A is equal to sigma all over epsilon naught. Sunod naman natin i-introduce yung integral form naman ng charge density. Ayan, itong tatlo. Ang alam lang kasi natin is ganito. Let's say meron kang sigma is equal to Q over, charge all over L. Paano naman yung small portion niya? Dito siya nanggaling. dQ is equal to lambda dL, where Q is the smallest portion ng charge and dL is the smallest portion ng length ng isang line. Gets? So in this case, meron tayong sigma. Kung ang sigma natin, following lang natin yung formula ng sa lambda, magiging dQ is equal to sigma dA. Bakit dA na naman? Di ba ang sabi ko kanina, ang sigma natin, it is the charge per unit area. So kapag i-integrate natin siya, magiging Q is equal to sigma A or sigma is equal to Q over A. Kagaya ng tinuro ni Zach. Pero in this case, lagi natin gagamitin yung integral form kasi ang Gauss's law, integral yan. Pero in the case na let's say multiple choice siya, I think it is safe na gagamitin natin yung sigma is equal to QA. Pero once na problem solving siya, mag-integral tayo. Yun yung pinaka-madali tsaka pinaka-tama na way. So proceed. E 2A is equal to sigma, sigma all over epsilon naught. Or sigma natin. It is, yun yung sigma dA. Bakit ito, tsaka ito, the same lang? Kasi di ba ano siya, sa Gauss's law natin, Q enclosed. Ano ba yung tinutukoy na Q enclosed? Yun yung dq is equal to the integral ng sigma times the smallest area. So, ganun lang siya. So, kung integrate natin both sides, ay yung right side lang, maging E 2A is equal to sigma A all over epsilon naught. Gets? Kasi ang mangyayari, magka-cancel yung A, E is equal to sigma all over 2 epsilon naught. Ayan yung electric field natin sa case na to. Paano naman kung dalawa na yung plane? Ang tanong, ano daw yung electric field sa taas, dito sa region A? Ano yung electric field sa gitna? Ano yung electric field sa baba? May idea ba kayo kung paano? Since nahanap na natin yung electric field ng isang plane, automatic, yung electric field sa letter A at C, it is the same. Diba? Kasi ito lang siya eh. Sa isang plane, ito na yung electric field natin, na-compute natin kanina. Tama? O, let's say ito. Ano yung electric field natin dito, dito, tsaka dito? Tandaan, ang electric field ng isang plane lang, plane sheet, is sigma all over 2 epsilon naught. Ang nagba-matter lang dito is yung direction. So, mag-introduce tayo ng R hat. Ay, K pala, K. Assume natin yung K natin is up and down, z-axis. Since yung A tsaka C, the same lang naman, na-compute natin kanina, pwede ko nang sabihin na yung electric field sa region C, it is just the same sa region A. Anong pinagkaiba? Negative K hat naman siya. Bakit negative K hat? Kasi yung portion niya is sa baba. So, kailangan tandaan to Kapag hinanap yung electric field sa region A or basta lagi nasa top, laging positive yun, yung orientation. Kapag nasa baba naman or below, negative K. Pero magnitude-wise, yung sigma lang over 2 epsilon naught. Okay, paano naman sa gitna? May idea ba kayo kung paano kinukumpute yung electric field sa gitna? I-add mo lang yung electric field ng present sa region B. Magiging sigma all over 2 epsilon naught plus sigma all over 2 epsilon naught, which is sigma all over epsilon naught. So, partner, lumabas naman sa exam. May dinagdag na naman sa baba. Ibig sabihin, yung region B tsaka region C, parehas na sigma all over epsilon naught, tsaka yung region A tsaka region D is sigma all over 2 epsilon naught. Ganun lang yan. Ang question naman, ano naman yung direction niya? Kasi tingnan nyo, kung yung direction ng A tsaka C magkaiba, ibig sabihin ganun din sa gitna. Kaya ito pataas, ito pababa, ito pababa, ito pataas. Lahat ng electric field natin may direction. Di ba ang direction niya is from positive to negative? Pero in this case, wala muna siyang direction, pero meron. Meron siyang direction, pero hindi pa siya matutukoy since wala pa tayo ini-introduce na charge talaga. Hindi natin alam kung saan yung positive dyan, saan yung negative dyan. Pero since orientation-wise, meron siya. K lang. K lang muna siya as of now since hindi pa naman siya na-introduce ng panibagong charge para magkaroon ng distortion sa direction ng electric field. Anyway, sige, next tayo. Sunod naman is, let's say meron tayong cylinder. Ayan, cylinder. Kunyari, ang haba niya is Z. Tapos yung radius ng cylinder natin is A. Ang tanong, alin part dito ang nagko-contribute sa electric field natin? Assuming ng electric field natin is going up and going down. Going up lang. Ayan. Tandaan palagi nagbabago yung electric field natin. Hindi lang siya palaging up and down, pwede rin siyang mag-sideway, pwede siyang slanted rin. So, anong kinalaman niya sa natin, sa Gauss's law? Meron kasing kapag, let's say ito Ang electric field mo pa ganito, ang electric field pa ganyan. Sa cylinder to ha, sa cylinder. Ayan. Okay, palitan ko lang kulay. Ibig sabihin, meron kang electric field sa side. E-field sa side, yes. Pero E-field sa up and down, wala. Hala, bakit wala? Kasi 'di ba kung i-expand natin yung electric field, meron siyang R cosine theta component. Wait lang. E is equal to KQ. Wait lang, sorry ah. E, K, okay, R squared. Bakit mahalaga yung cosine theta dito? Kasi cosine theta, siya yung nagde-denote ng direction ng electric field mo. Bakit sa formula namin hindi siya tinuturo? Tignan nyo. Kung yung electric field natin is going to the right, ano yung theta natin going to the right? Diba? It's just 0. So, anong cosine 0 mo? It's just 1. So, magiging E is equal to KQR squared times 1. Gets ba? Bakit sinabi ko kanina na walang contribution yung up and down? Kasi ano ba yung cosine 90? Perpendicular. Diba 0 lang siya? So, hindi na nagmamatter yung up and down mo. So, ganito rin siya sa second case natin. What if naman yung electric field natin is going down naman? Up and down. E is equal to KQR squared cosine theta. Ayan. Ang tanong dito, alin yung nagko-contribute? Yung dalawang sides or hindi? Yung dalawang bilog or yung whole cylinder?
Yung sides.
Yes, very good. Sides lang. Kasi, ganito ulit. KQR squared cosine 0 for circles to Kaya mahalaga yung orientation tsaka yung direction ng electric field kasi konting modification lang, may iba na yung formula mo. So, going back tayo sa problem. Ang tanong, alin dito yung nagko-contribute? Alin dito yung nagko-contribute? Yung sides, yung circles, or yung side ng cylinder? Balik tayo sa formula ng Gauss's law. E dot dE is equal to Q enclosed all over epsilon naught. Pwede siyang ganito, yung formula, or pwede rin ganito ha. E dot dE is equal to dQ is equal to hindi, tanong, ano yung charge density na gagamitin natin dito? Is it lambda, sigma, or rho? Actually, lambda ang sagot dito. Hala, bakit naman? Line is just the smallest, let's say, smallest figure ng isang cylinder or a wire. Pag sinabing wire, cylinder, line, lambda palagi yan. Gets yan? Kasi di ba ganito ang wire? Kapag in-expand mo siya, meron kang makapal dito, ganyan. Which is a cylinder. Yun lang yan. Proceed tayo. Ano yung smallest area ng isang cylinder? Hindi. Yung A na tinutukoy dito, hindi talaga siya, hindi, tama A siya. Pero A at the boundary. Kasi di ba walang electric field sa loob ng isang medium or ng isang material, lagi lang siya naglalay on the material. So, ang D natin dito is 2 pi AL. Tama ba A? Ayan. Para mas madaling matandaan, ang DA na tinutukoy palagi dito is yung surface area. Hindi siya automatic area talaga. Surface area lang siya. Once na may charge. Pero kapag wala, area lang. Gets yun? Sunod tayo. Ano yung dq natin? dq natin is equal to lambda times, ano yung integral ng dl? Is L. Saan ko nakuha yung dl? Yung dl is just the smallest portion ng cylinder natin. Ito. Let's say, ito lang yung dl mo. Ay, dz pala. Ayan. So, mali ako. Lambda z siya. Gets? Sunod, all over epsilon naught. Ito z rin pala to. Anong pwede mag-cancel out sa equation natin? Yung Z. So, ang total electric field niya is lambda all over epsilon naught 2 pi radius A. Ayan lang yan. Ang tanong, anong direction? Is it I hat, J hat, or K hat? K hat siya. Kasi sa figure natin, pataas. Is it positive or negative? Positive dapat. So, yun lang muna for now. Sana may nagets kayo sa Gauss's law. Normally, ay lang yung lumalabas. Kasi ang pinakamadaling isolve is yung sphere. Pero, try ko mamaya mag-send ng notes about sa sphere and sa other figures na maaaring lumabas sa exam nyo. Pero normally, ang laging pinaglalaroan dyan is yung plane tsaka cylinder. So, dapat dyan kayo mag-focus slide. So, yun lang. Sige, siguro yun muna for now and bukas na ulit yung iba para makapagpahinga na rin muna kayo. Kung may question kayo, feel free lang na mag-send dun sa GC and try namin. Pero huwag kayong mag-send ng mga homeworks nyo. Thank you and bye-bye.